Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about summer quilt-alongs. So I have two planned right now, Starshine and Happy Go Lucky, and I want to add another one or two, but I want your feedback on those. So first let's talk about the Starshine and the Happy Go Lucky. I have my calendar here. Starshine is going to start on June 12th, and it's going to be a 6-week quilt-along. So that means it's going to end, the last week will be July 17th. Happy Go Lucky is going to start on the 4th of July, and that's going to be a 5-week quilt along, and that's going to run through August 1st. Let me show you what those two quilts look like so you know. This first quilt on top here is Starshine. This is one of my newer patterns. This is the quilt along that will be starting on June 12th. This is a 1-block quilt. This is what the block looks like. And then there is sashing and cornerstones and a small border around the outside. This quilt pattern comes in 3 sizes. There's baby, throw, and twin bed. This size here is the twin bed. It uses 30 blocks. The throw uses 20 and the baby uses 9. For this quilt, I used a really bright, beautiful Ruby Star Society fabric. I mixed and matched from different collections, so it's not from one collection. For the background, I use Motabella Solids in white. That's 990098. It's a really bright white, and I think the contrast between the bright white and the bright prints is really pretty. So this quilt along will run for 6 weeks, and I'm going to give you 2 different options on how you want to do it. I know some people like to make 1 block at a time, so I will have the set amount of blocks you need to make each week during the quilt along. And also I'm going to give you the schedule for how I do it. I would break it up and I would chain piece. So first I'm going to make all of the flying geese. Then I'll assemble these stars. Then I'll make these units that are on the outside. That'll probably get broken up into 2 weeks because it's a lot depending on the size that you're making. I'll have to take a look at the schedule. Then we're going to assemble the blocks. Again, that'll probably get broken up into 2 weeks, and then assemble the whole quilt top. So that's going to be this one. And this one right here is Happy Go Lucky. This quilt pattern has instructions for one size. It's a large throw, 84.5 inches square. It has 9 large blocks in it. We have identical here, 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 and here. The 4 corners are identical, and then the center matches the 4 corners, but it's in a different color scheme. When I made this quilt, I used exact fabric for each of the identical blocks, but you don't have to do that. You can make this scrappy by just using the same color families. For example, in the aqua of this block right here, I used all of the same print, but what you could do is use your scraps and just fill in the blanks with any aqua that you have. Same thing for the yellow, the red, the pink, any of the colors in this quilt. You can make them exactly as it is, all one, or you can go ahead and make it scrappy. So this quilt along starts on July 4th, and it's a 5-week quilt along. So we're going to split it up by making 2 Dutchman puzzle blocks 1 week, 2 the next week, 2 outer stars 1 week, 2 outer stars the other week. The final week will be the middle star and assembling the whole quilt top. So that is the information for those 2 quilts and quilt-alongs. I'll put the links to the patterns below, and I'm also going to put the schedules down there so you can take a look, see if they work, see if you want to participate. Now for the other 2 quilt-alongs that I want to have this year, I want to get your input. I have a new pattern that I'm working on that's scrappy, red, white, and blue. It's a 1-block quilt, and it works really great for red, white, and blue scraps. That's one option. Another option is to do a different sampler. There were so many people who messaged me saying they were sad that the 2025 Scrappy Sampler was ending. They were really just enjoying every week working on the blocks. So I was thinking we could always go back to a different sampler, maybe the original Scrappy Sampler, and start that quilt along again. We can do it in a different color scheme. We can go red, white, and blue. We could even go Christmas. So I want to get your feelings on that. There's also another sampler we can consider. I've done this pattern in the past. Let's see, this was a long time ago in 2021. It was on my blog, and now it's going to be put in my shop as a paid pattern, and it's called the Holly Jolly Block of the Week. So it's a Christmas themed sampler. That's another way we could go. I also have a few two color quilt patterns in the works. Both of them have been seen before, but I haven't had the pattern in my shop. So one was on the cover of a Martingale book. It was a joint book, lots of different authors contributing patterns. And so that's one of them. It's a two color. I did red and white, but there's so many options for that. And another two color quilt is a pattern that I have called Betsy. Betsy uses 3 different quilt blocks to make one two color quilt. And I know you're not seeing any of these, but just in your mind, I want to know what you're thinking. Two color, sampler, scrappy red, white, and blue, something altogether different. Let me know what you think, because I will plan those other 2 quilt alongs based on what you tell me. So let me know in the comments, please. And also, if you have any questions on this video, just let me know. And if not, I will see you back here soon. I cannot wait to sew these quilts with you.